Hello everyone, welcome back to Mary's Little House. Peanut's here, our little celebrity. He always steals the show not only on YouTube but every place else. He seems to steal the spotlight. I'm just a secondary straight man for Peanut. I'm getting a little jealous of his show-stopping ways. But he's taking it very, very nonchalantly, almost indifferently, his celebrity. Very humble, teaching me how to deal with the public too, as if I had a public. Oh, here he is. He hasn't fallen asleep yet. I haven't talked long enough to fall asleep, but he's right here. Oh, come on, Peanut Show. There's my celebrity right here, looking at me. Just got through eating something, finishing up. Anyway, I'm glad you came. Thank you for coming and visiting with Peanut and I. Just Mary's Little House. Oh, today was so busy. I'm back up late at night again here because it's been a full day. Sometimes when you're working and dealing with people and you wonder if you're pleasing God, you know, you don't even have a chance to even check it out. You're just so busy. But I think God sees us better than we do, more objectively, more true than we do. I sometimes think we are our harshest critics, believe it or not. You know, usually we try to have a good face on and everything, and you know, cover up our faults and failings. But God is looking at us from a fatherly, understanding, loving, sympathetic, compassionate way. I think we tend not to do that. I don't know why, because of our own brokenness and the brokenness of others. So when I look over my day, I did get a little tiny bundle of letters done, of postal mail. So one of my sisters works for the post office, or did. She's retired. She calls it snail mail. Snail mail. That's not a very good compliment for the greatest postal service in the world. I understand that's true, the U.S. Postal Service. But anyway, she was just joking. Anyway, I just want to tell you about how God looks at us. As I said, he's always protective of us. He's a father. He wants us to be happy. I think that's a revelation to some of us, because we always say in the Hail Holy Queen, in this veil of sorrows, or this veil of tears, to tears. And that's true. There's lots of tragedy in the world, lots of unhappiness and everything. But Jesus started something new when he suffered and died on the cross, and 3 days rose again from the dead. All the suffering, from his suffering, his cross, came eternal life, came joy. And it's not eternal life just in heaven when we die and go to heaven and share his resurrection. It's that already started. And the church has a wonderful insight on that. And I think when we learned our Baltimore Catechism, we're older people, you know, talking to you guys who Baltimore Catechism, what, you know, you had all different other catechisms. Anyway, it said, why are we here? What is the meaning of our lives? We're here to know, love, and serve God, and to be happy with him now and forever in heaven. I think people forget that now part, that we are really to be happy. When I say have a good day, it's not just sort of a wishy-washy thing. I mean that you be happy. We know that happiness, just from a sheer human point of view, is a choice. We could choose to be either happy or miserable. God forbid that we choose to be miserable. Yes, we suffer, but that doesn't take away our happiness. When we do, God gives us a share of his Son's cross. It's a joy to suffer. oh, what? There was something that happened. I forgot exactly what happened today, but when it was getting really rough, and my patience was maybe getting a little bit thin, but when I realized, hold it, God's giving me this to suffer, and to do it cheerfully, and to offer it for someone their soul that has to be saved or someplace in this world, and it put all kinds of meaning into that suffering. It almost made me welcome the suffering. Oh, by the way, I don't do any heavy lifting. These are little teeny things, like bumping your head under a sink, trying to fix the plumbing, the drain stopped. Those kind of sufferings. God has gifted me with those heavy duty kind. But anyway, those are the best kind for me. Anyway, if I got some kind of a horrible disease or something, they say, "Oh, look at poor Jim. He's suffering so much. He's doing so much." I really look. I would be like the hero or something. That God probably knew that, and so He gives me these little ones that nobody's going to say, "Look at him," you know. But that's okay. God knows what crosses we are best to bear, and what we need to grow in holiness. But anyway, getting back to how God looks at us, He looks at us with such joy, like a father, watching his son play ball. He encourages us in every effort we make, every thing we do, our tasks and things that He gives us. We set our holiness consistent in doing the Father's will. But not only does He give us the task to do, or do it the will that He wants us to do, He gives us the graces too. Now, during the day, and this is I'm seeing this, I made some less than perfect choices. I could have cut off the TV. I watched the thing on Egypt. I was so happy Egypt is going on our way to democracy. But then I wanted to see more. I mean, for me, I'm talking about me. You probably could watch all the TV you want, but for me, I know that God was calling me not to watch this next first part of the program because I was so interested in it. I made an imperfect choice, and I felt bad about it. These aren't maybe sins, but God's calling us to holiness, to perfection, to detachment from my little from these little things. Remember, we could be held to the ground on the ground by a big chain, serious sin and all that, or serious attachment, or a little thin thread, like watching just a little bit extra news, more news than I needed to watch, and I knew that He did it wrong. And now that doesn't make me scrupulous and oh, poor me and all that, but it did disappoint me. My pride was hurt, and I was sorry to God about that, because He's really been giving me graces to watch what I need to watch and then turn it off and get with my next thing that He wants. But so when we do fail Him, we run to Him and ask His forgiveness and His grace, and we are humbled, and so we depend more on Him. So even our stumblings are things that don't offend God, but He's calling us to perfection, to holiness. He wants our whole heart, and I just held back there my part of that heart, part of my will, to watch that little extra next program to see what they're talking about at Egypt or whatever. No, He wants our whole heart. But He's patient, that's it. He's more patient with us than we are with ourselves. So He's not only there as a loving gaze, He's not some stern teacher, watching us do our test or something. He's there, a Father that enabling us and cheering us on, as like a father watching us play in the ball game. But He's also there as patient. We know we're going to mess up. I am a just man. Sin 7 times a day. Well, hello. I don't know how many times I fall and stumble, and I think I'm even going to stumble into heaven. Hello. I think sometimes God lets us have these little faults and failings, and things just to keep us humble, and it's wonderful. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be with you now. Thank you for listening to my conversation. So just when you get out there in the field and play the day tomorrow or tonight, just know God is watching you and encouraging you and is very patient with you, and not to worry about your stumblings and failings, that these only bring us closer to God when we run to Him and ask His help and forgiveness. Good night now. Peter says good night too.